Former UConn student Peter Manfredonia entered a not guilty plea to murder charges for the death of 62-year-old Ted Demers of Willington. The 23-year-old UConn student who led police on a multi-state manhunt and crime spree is also accused of killing his former classmate at Newtown High School, Nick Isley, who was living in his Derby apartment with his girlfriend at the time. According to the newly released arrest warrant today, Isley's girlfriend told police she woke up around 5:45 a.m. to her boyfriend and Manfredonia, who broke into their apartment fighting in the living room. She awoke to Nick yelling, "Relax," and calmed down to Manfredonia, and heard Isley yell to call 911. But Manfredonia ripped the cell phone right from her hands. She told police that Manfredonia then shot Nick Isley in the head. According to police, Manfredonia took thousands of dollars of cash from their apartment and demanded Isley's girlfriend get in the couple's black Volkswagen Jetta. During their drive, she told police she contemplated intentionally driving the car into a tree to escape, but decided not to because Manfredonia was wearing his seatbelt. During their trip all the way down to New Jersey, she tells police that Manfredonia opened up about the crime spree and the violence in Willington, saying Ted Demers was not the intended target. Manfredonia convinced a random stranger at a McDonald's in New Jersey to order an Uber for him. Once the car arrived, according to the documents, Manfredonia gave the individual $100 for gas and gave Nick Isley's girlfriend $200. Police and U.S. Marshals inevitably found Manfredonia standing outside of a truck stop in Hagerstown, Maryland, 4 days later and took him into custody.
Manfredonia is now being charged with murder, felony murder, kidnapping with a firearm, robbery, and carrying a pistol without a permit. He's being held on $5 million bond for these new charges and an additional $7 million bond for the previous charges. He's scheduled to be arraigned on the new charges in Milford tomorrow.